What's going on, Earth 2? It's your boy Mo Crosby. Welcome to Earth 2 Comicast, where superheroes exist. Welcome to Earth 2 Comicast, where superheroes exist and comic book talk is the norm. Comic book TV talk is the norm. There we go. Let me try one more time.
Wow.
Welcome to Earth 2 Comicast, where superheroes exist.
Damn, you just
I promise I'm not drunk.
gave up on your baby. Man.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just go. Welcome to Earth 2 Comicast, where superheroes exist and comic book TV show talk is the norm. I'm your host, Mo Crosby, alongside a couple people who've been here before, and you know why we're here. We're here for Runaways Season 2. And along to do this show with me is... Don't all go at once, okay? You can take your time
Oh,
whenever you feel like
okay.
introducing yourself.
Team. I thought you were going to introduce us and we were just going to say hey, but
right.
It's cool. We're winging it.
Okay, Keen.
Hey.
Hey. And Bree. Hey.
Hello.
You guys know we've been here before. We did Runaways season 1, then we did Cloak and Dagger, and so at the end of Runaways season 1, we all had opinions about Runaways, and you know we heard Runaways was announced for season 2, and we all thought, well, I personally thought, okay, this is gonna be interesting, this is gonna be fun, or because again with the way Runaways season 1 ended, it was like you have one way to go at this point. I felt Runaway season 1 was not as good, not as strong. So to impress me, to bring me back into the fold, you have to go up. A lot of our other people who are not here with us, Anthony, Patrick, they also felt the same way. I think Keem was the only one who was kind of like okay with the show, right? Because you weren't expecting anything.
No.
Yeah, I had no expectations, but
Yeah.
I also know that by the end, I was like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
There were no expectations to meet, but it didn't wow me.
Yeah, okay. So we'll go with that. Season 1 had a lot of glowy dicks, just a lot of stuff that didn't help the story narratively. Just a bunch of things that we complained about. You go watch our season 1 Runaways talks, and you can see because we did that. For the differences, season 1 gave us every episode a week. Right after the first 3, we got an episode a week. Season 2, Hulu and Marvel decided to just drop everything at once, and we, to binge. I thought that was interesting, and I thought, the way season 2 was sequenced. Again, we're gonna talk about every episode, every episode, but I feel the way it was sequenced and the way it went, it actually held up better as a binge-worthy show.
It did.
So, on that regard, it did a lot. It did a lot better for me because I was able to get all of it at once, than to sit down and digest the whole thing. And by the time we do the talk, I'm like, yeah, I hate this episode. But the way everything kind of went, it's like you're watching it and you're getting all the information at one time, and so you can process everything at once. However, the show, still had its problems, but I think it was a better season than season 1. I want to know what you guys thought about it. Did you guys think season 2, like, what was? I mean, did you have any expectations for season 2? Were they met, or what was it about season 2 for you?
Who's going first? You go first.
Okay.
You go first.
So I actually really enjoyed season 2. I found myself talking to the screen, kind of like you would do when you watch a soap opera, like, no, don't you do that, blah, just kind of all that stuff. It had a few more goosebumps moments for me where the Runaways were actually doing stuff where I was like, chills. I think it was smart for them to do it and go ahead and release all of the episodes at once, because I think they figured nobody was going to wait around every week. Like after that first season, they probably got a whole bunch of feedback and people were like, nobody's going to wait around to see what happens the next week. But yeah, I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. The few disappointments I had, I guess, we'll talk about as we get into the episodes, but it was a solid season.
I think they should have done the huge drop for the first season, and then the second season should have been every week, because nothing happened in season 1. So I would have rather gotten that over with than the first season. And then this season, everything was happening and there was more action. So I would have been more intense on like seeing what happens in the next episode. But yeah, I had like no expectations for this one and had more expectations for the first season. So I probably enjoyed it more because I was like, oh, this is just gonna suck. And it was just all right. It was no Cloak and Dagger.
That's true. But I can appreciate season 1 more now after watching season 2, because season 1 really, like, even though there was no action and it was really dull, that's basically what the Runaways' lives were like before everything popped off, right? So they had the mild-mannered, normal, everyday life. So to go through that, like all the boringness of the first season, and then like just kind of finding out that their parents aren't the people that they thought they were, and then to get into this season where like their parents are some really messed up people, and so like you feel that struggle now after seeing how boring everything was in the first season. So it was a good they laid good groundwork in season 1 for you to like appreciate season 2.
Okay, so that's again, I agree with everything you guys have said, especially with Bree saying, like maybe they should have dropped season 1 as a binge show, and then season 2, yes, it did have a lot more. There's a lot more nuance to the show. There was a lot more nuance to the characters. We actually got to know these people, the kids a lot more. Also, so now my okay. Before we get into the actual show, real question: are the parents that bad? Like, are they that
Yes,
bad? Really?
they're terrible people. Yeah, you don't
How
think that?
so?
Never mind, I'm asking you. Sorry.
Oh, me. What is that supposed to mean? I think you can ask me that. That's not that's not crazy.
I think our perspectives and views on life in the world and world activities are probably at different ends of the spectrum. So whereas I'm like, they're terrible people, you're like,
Yeah, because
were they
I
really
think
that bad?
because I think what they did was for their kids, like especially in season 2, was most. I really no. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm like, what's
Okay,
his name? Not Chase. Is it Chase?
okay. I
Uh-huh.
think the show framed them as they're not that bad, but I feel like everyone else was like, no, they're pretty bad, and they made the kids say, oh, they're pretty bad, but then everything else in the show was like, they're not that bad
Yeah,
because they
like
like.
I didn't see anything they did as like terrible. I don't think anything they did was like out of out of bounds. Like I think I felt there was
What
a
are you
lot of
talking
people.
about specifically, though?
Okay.
You're talking about like,
No,
oh, it's fine to kill runaways because they don't matter. Is that what you're like? Which part are you talking about?
okay. So towards the end, they're like, let's kill them, or let's try to get. Okay. Let's go through the show. Let's go through the show, and I'll point out where I don't think they were that bad. Also, there was one parent that I thought like could get it all the time. So that
And
does.
she was probably the fucking worst. if it's
As a
who
parent, she was the worst.
Who?
if it's who I'm thinking about, the black mom,
Oh,
Alex's mom.
She was not that bad. She
oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
For real, Mo? Okay. All right. Yes, let's walk through these episodes, and then we're gonna get you the number for a good counselor, because your vision, your perspective is skewed, sir.
who I think would agree with me on the parents not being that bad?
Who?
Anthony.
Yeah, where is he?
Oh wow, that's how you feel.
Damn,
That's how you feel.
man.
All right. So let's So episode 1 starts off with the kids actually running. Well, it looks like they're running, but they're actually chasing someone who stole the Fistigons. Like, how dumb are you? But then another thing I have to keep doing watching the show is remind myself that these are children, teenagers. I found
And
myself doing that a lot. Like you
you know
said, young.
what? When you told me that, Mo, it was actually helpful for me because I was so frustrated. Like, what kind of bonehead? Like, they're
Yes.
Not
teenagers.
only
That's
that, they're
right.
rich teenagers.
Oh yes,
Uh-huh.
they're
They're
very privileged
spoiled rich
teenagers
teenagers who have never had.
who
How the
probably
fuck are
never
you
had.
going to be an activist and not have seen
Yeah.
disenfranchised people? Like, whatever. Okay,
Yes.
go through. Whatever. I'm so
Yeah,
mad.
like okay, so they're trying to catch the dude with the Fistigons, and you have a whole dinosaur, but you're not using a dinosaur to trap the guy with the Fistigons. Fine, whatever. They couldn't catch him. Um, so we leave from there, and then they go to the soup kitchen because they're trying to eat. because they're trying to get food to eat, right? So they go to the soup kitchen, and it's like, this is what pride is. This is what pride does. So
Yeah.
again, you're not again another they're not that bad moment, because they're actually doing stuff for the people that live there. Jack,
But they're doing stuff for the community, but it's like the person who does something sweet for you and you're like, man, that was really nice of them, but there's this underlying motive because they're going to hit you up for something really
but
heavy in a couple of
technically,
weeks.
what did the parents hit the city up for? Nothing really.
No, they were just taking the homeless, the runaway kids, and sacrificing them to make sure that a glowy dick alien stayed alive. No biggie.
But
It's fine.
but they had to. That, you see, it's either do that or watch your kids die. So what would you rather?
You know,
How would their kids have died though?
I still don't completely understand what that alien did for them. Was it just the technology? And they
Technology.
used that?
No, he put them in a position of power because they were never in a position of power. I mean, remember Alex's dad was in prison.
Criminal.
It was a criminal, and he all of a sudden now he owns a security company or something, right? He was You're very wealthy. The mom was probably like a regular lawyer, and next thing you know, she's like the top dog in all of LA or California or
But
whatever.
why didn't they just let him rot?
That's what I'm saying. So you didn't
Like,
necessarily
this bitch,
have to.
like he focused all his energy on that glowing dick so he could have sex one more time. But like, why couldn't he just help himself?
Okay, that's fair. So they get to the soup kitchen, and it's like, yo, we're just gonna eat we're just gonna eat. We don't care. This is what. Let's just eat because we're hungry. So we don't. I don't care what Pride does and whatever. And on the flip side of it, Pride is like, yo, we have to find our children. And apparently, Pride doesn't think that their kids think they're. I don't know if they know that they know how their kids see them or view them. I don't think
At
they know
that
that.
moment, no.
Yes. So pride is so flip side. Pride is like, we have to get our children. And now moving forward from that, they finally do get the fistigons. But you see these kids again, rich kids go through. In my mind, I don't even think they're. I don't think this is the worst that could happen to them, or the worst that could happen. They find the mansion, and then they meet this person, and then so moving forward, they meet this guy who is like who. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm going too far ahead of
You
myself.
skipped
So
way ahead.
yeah, so now that
Are we
they
just
find
talking
out,
about first season? I mean, first
overseas,
episode.
I think I'm meshing a bunch of things
I
together. So
haven't seen the season in like 2 weeks.
It's been
the
a
first,
couple of weeks now.
yeah,
Yeah,
it has been a
but
couple. So
also, um, Molly's aunt died because of the parents,
Mm-hmm.
well,
and
look,
then Molly had to find her aunt dead.
oh my gosh,
Molly's last living relative
oh my
dead
gosh,
because
and
of
it's
the
not
parents.
even. It's
Right.
like, well, that's
But
because
that's
of
not that bad. That's not that bad.
It's fine.
Apparently,
She's only scarred for life. But
who killed the aunt?
your favorite. Your
Nico's mom.
favorite.
Oh my gosh,
Remember, she was like, choke.
she is so. Nico's mom is so amazing. Like, I don't think she's bad at all. Okay, at all. Like,
You think she's real bad?
I think she's real bad.
You are blinded by your glowing genitalia. That's the problem, though.
I think she's one of the more interesting parents, but she's
Yeah,
bad. And I think
Yeah.
that's why she's the more interesting parent.
I think we're blurring the lines of good and bad. I think there's a gray area for Nico's mom and Alex's mom. But
Please tell me why she had to kill the mom.
oh, no.
I mean, the
Okay,
aunt.
so they find the new mansion, right? And then
Oh, okay,
what's her
okay, just
what's her
deflect.
name? What's her name is now going out to be a superhero at night because she's bored and she feels like she needs to
It's
do
not because she's
something.
bored. It's because her aunt got murdered and she is strong and can do something about it. But no, it's
She
because she's
wants to
bored.
she wants to avenge other people.
Oh Lord, I feel like this is what's gonna happen this whole show, where I
Yeah,
think
she
parents are
should
not
have brought
that bad.
backup.
You should probably do like the first 4 episodes and then come back next week and do the next 4 episodes.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
I
Because
can't remember which one was which.
Because I know Anthony and Patrick will have my back on this. The parents are not that bad. Okay.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. And then so the next thing we have is the group is starting to splinter because
He's
Alex is
skipping
doing his.
everything. What was Alex doing?
He's yeah, that's what I'm saying. Alex is doing his own thing, and so everyone feels like, oh, like why are you doing? Because they lost their money and they lost a bunch of things. So Alex is like, yeah, let me go. I'll go get some. I'll go see if I can get some money. Or I'll go see. I go see what I can do. And
Sorry, I was trying to look at the episode summaries for 1 through 4, so we didn't skip ahead. Continue, Mo.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, we are clearly out of the loop here.
I was hoping
Well,
Patrick could do the review because he had just watched it.
So can I do this? Can I read the summary for episode 1? And that
Yeah,
might help us.
that
Okay,
might
so the
help
summary
guys.
for episode 1, season 2, episode 1 is Gimme Shelter. The kids struggle with their new lives as runaways, but find a hideout. Alex goes to work for Darius while Pride plots to kill Jonah. Jonah initiates a plan to build a new box.
Oh
That's,
yeah. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right,
I
right.
think I went from episode 1 to 3 back to 1. Anyway,
This is what happens when we binge.
yes, this is what happens when you binge. But yeah, so we are so
Mo,
no,
focus.
okay. Sorry. So we have so the kids lost their money. They lost the Fistigons. They got the Fistigons back. They found the mansion, and Alex
No,
goes. No,
but
they haven't found the
okay.
mansion yet. But they go to the soup kitchen, and at the soup kitchen, Alex is like, "Let me see what I can do in terms of money because we will need money." And so Alex goes to Darius, I believe is what
He
his name
doesn't
is.
even say that shit. He's like, I'm gonna go.
Right, he
Yeah,
He's
doesn't
out,
tell
and
them.
everyone's like, where the fuck you going? And he's like, just trust me. Just trust me, even though I've
Just
given you no reason to. Just trust
I,
me.
I
And
I
dips
still
out.
I still don't understand why he's alive. I don't get it. I think he should die really painfully. And
because he's the leader and the planner of the group.
but we
The
saw in the
strategist.
season that you didn't need him though to be the leader and the
Nico was
planner.
an excellent planner, but
That's not
And so
necessarily true because he was a dumbass, but he was
yeah,
also the only one getting money. He was
that's
yeah.
just
So
not
true. So here's
trustworthy.
the
He wouldn't
he
bankroll.
tell
goes
anyone.
he goes to Darius, and Darius sets this whole situation up where it looks like Alex is walking into his death, but he's like taking Alex to help him fix up his baby's room, and that was kind of sweet because all to this point we've seen Darius as this hardened street guy, and then you see there's a softer side to Darius, and that's why I'm wearing a do-rag. R.I.P. Darius.
Skipped way ahead. Okay. You felt like he was taking Alex to meet his death. I kind of thought he
I,
was just gonna have him out on the corner, like putting in
Oh
work.
no,
I
and
thought he was gonna
that
clean up a dead body.
and yeah, because I see all either that because I see like the tarp everywhere, and he asked Alex to put the apron on. I'm like, yo, Alex, you're about to either get your hands really dirty because to
Why would he
get this
wear an
money,
apron if he was gonna die?
probably a clean death.
That wouldn't make it clean.
He
Like
didn't want
Darius has OCD. So put these rubber gloves on and this apron before I kill you because I don't want blood anywhere.
he didn't want to get blood on Alex's shirt.
Wouldn't Darius be wearing the apron then?
But then Darius kind of did set Alex up because he gave him the gun, and he's like, hold this gun for me real quick. And he grabs it from him and he's like, yeah,
That
don't
wasn't
ever.
a setup. That was insurance.
It's a setup because it's like, yeah, it's still insurance. Insurance is a setup because it's like, hey, just in case you decide to go back on our deal at any point, I have you right here. I thought that was kind of I thought that was kind of shady. I don't know if that's how you build trust, but I
I mean, it
guess
wasn't
that's
really based on trust. So
No, it
it was
was
pretty
it was
transactional.
allocated money.
no, it
Yeah.
was more. Oh, was it more so like I know your parents and I know what they've done to me, so you're your father's son type thing?
Both.
Yeah, that's strategy. That's smart.
I would do the same thing. Like, don't fucking go back on me. I know who your parents are. Don't
Okay.
Right.
trust your reason.
Your mama ain't shit. Your daddy ain't shit. You probably ain't shit. Touch
Whoa,
this
whoa.
gun.
His mom is the shit. So please stop. And not a bad person.
Not a bad person, but he's gonna kill the. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
fucking
And
fine.
so
I'm not trusting you around any of my loved ones, Mo. That is decided.
on
I'm
the
not that
flip
bad of
side,
a person. I'm just gonna murder everyone. It's fine.
so on the flip side, you have Pride coming to their senses, saying, "Look, Jonah like attacked our kids. That was kind of like we did not see that coming. So now we have to formulate a plan to get rid of him." And Chase's mom decides to step up to the plate, like, "Yo, I got something, like." And so when Jonah goes to go talk to Chase's dad, who is recovering in the tube, right? He finds out he can't get through to him, and so he comes in and he talks. And Jonah's mom is like, "Look, I'll do it. I'll go talk
You
to him."
skipping ahead, but okay.
Did I like? I'm not on episode 1 anymore.
No.
No, you're not. You're not.
Okay, basically,
Because
while Alex was with Darius, the other kids were like just hanging out and watching at the soup kitchen, and they saw Molly's aunt on the TV. They're like, "Oh crap, we
Oh
should go check on her
yeah.
because Molly sent the video back to her aunt." And that's when the parents were like, "Oh shit, she's on TV. We need to go shut her up." And Molly's adopted parents were like, "Oh, we'll talk to her. Okay, she's reasonable." And so they go with Nico's mom as backup. And Graciela was
No, I
like,
don't think they
"Fuck
went with Nico's mom
that."
as backup. I think she just came in there. Or did they
yeah,
go with
because
her
she
as backup?
didn't trust them to do the job.
Yeah, she didn't trust them to do the job, so she came in there and she handled business like a boss, like
Okay.
a boss.
Okay.
She's a boss. She's a boss lady. And
She's
you know
something that
what? She
starts with a
always
B.
had heels on. It's crazy. Like
Okay.
always. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm getting carried away. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the show. Let's keep it going.
I hope she sees this and maybe you'll have a
Yes.
chance.
I
Nobody's
really
here for your fetish, Mo.
Whoa.
Did I say something?
Maybe. So wait, are we still in the episode where they go to Nico's house, or is it still the episode?
No.
That's the next. So, but the episode ends with them finding her dead, right? Finding her aunt dead.
No. No, that they find her aunt dead
Can
after
somebody
Nico
help
comes
me
in and
out?
shows. Well, apparently you need
Bree
it.
is helping you.
I barely remember it, but I know you're not at the right. So basically, they find the aunt dead. Molly's traumatized as fuck, but they got to get out of there. And they find the memory eraser thing, so they know who was there. It wasn't just a heart attack or whatever they made it look like. And they dipped out because they didn't want to get caught. Cops were coming and shit. And then they go to the campground for the homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they're gonna all meet up. But they have a funeral for Graciela, and they throw a Wiccan funeral. And they're like, yeah. And that's when Molly's like, "This isn't fair. I'm strong. I can do something about this." And that's when she's like thinking, like, "I'm gonna go fuck
Oh,
be a
and
superhero
then
and shit."
goes out.
That doesn't happen yet. And then that's when they meet up with Alex, and Alex is like, "What happened? I was busy trying to get laid with Darius's niece, in-law, right?
Yeah.
Niece-in-law or sister-in-law?
Yeah.
Okay, right? Yeah, Alex is just living a normal life, really. Not a rich life, but just like a normal life, like paying brooms for this
Like,
baby coming.
he's got a summer job. He's meeting girls.
Like, he's not even like really struggling. And like, also, why do they all look like they've showered? I hate it. They should be
Where's
dirty.
Nico getting this makeup from is my question.
Makeup
Like
isn't
every day
really
is like a
expensive.
fresh.
Like, she brought makeup, but she didn't bring money.
You didn't bring anything else, but you made sure that your cat eye was going to be popping every day
All of
while you're
them
homeless.
look completely like clean and shit. Like, I go 2 days without a shower and I look like shit. But okay.
The worst. I think the worst they looked was when they had Alex's trench kind of like have a stain on it, like a single stain.
Stupid,
Chase's trench,
but whatever.
my bad, Chase's trench. Yeah, he had his little trench have the little cap stain on it, and that was it.
They also made sure that they got at least one shout out to Lifton in the
Did they
first
really?
episode.
Yeah, they were like,
yeah, because they were like walking, like we can't call a lift.
Yeah, we don't have our phones. We can't call a lift. And that's when they stole the car. They used white privilege to steal the car.
That was funny. I thought that was really funny.
It was funny.
But yeah, so they meet back up and it's nighttime and they like go to bed. But in the morning, that's when the thief was fucking around with fistigons and like started blowing shit up. And that's when they chase after him and they finally fucking use the dinosaur, and that's when they
and
caught
that's
him.
when they accidentally find the mansion too.
Yes, that's when Carolina, is it Carolina? Carolina
Carolina.
falls through, but she floats, so she's fine. And that's when they find the mansion. And they're like, oh fucking shit, we got a home. And that's all I really remember from that first episode.
I think that's where it ends. I really do think that's where it ends, because
There was one more piece. There was one more piece to that. That's when what's his face? The villain, the glowy dick
Jonah.
When Jonah is trying to talk to Chase's dad, because I had turned my back and turned around and was like, wait, is this? I thought it was a completely different show altogether, because like the scene was like sepia and washed out.
It looks like the 80s or the 70s.
Yeah, it looked like the 70s, like an old-timey town with like a malt shop and stuff like that.
So yeah, it was Chase's dad, and it's like Jonah needs his help to build another box so he can have more energy and shit. And I think that's what they're working on, and the parents are just working on ways to get their kids back.
And kill Jonah.
Because they're not that bad.
Because they're done being under his thumb, even though they could have just fucking done that in the beginning and not gotten another human. But whatever. Yeah. Okay, what's season 2 summary?
Okay, so season 2 summary is Carolina, Nico, and Molly try to retrieve the staff of one, but Tina puts up a fight. Carolina grows closer to Jonah, while Alex and Livy share a kiss.
Ooh.
So can I say the most disappointing part of this episode for me was finding out that Alex's parents never taught that boy anything about hair care. How do you have a black son with the full fro and you haven't taught him about moisturizing, detangling, none of that? That boy ain't know nothing about. He's like, shea butter, what's that? Those parents need to be sent away.
But you know what's funny about that?
See, they are that bad.
His mom is natural.
What?
Natural what?
His mom's hair is natural. It's not a. It's just a bun, right? Isn't it just like a high?
Her hair's always in a ponytail.
Yeah, so it's like a slick back.
Oh, it legit could just be a weave ponytail. We don't know what his mom's hair is, but we know what his hair is not moisturized.
Yeah, so he messed himself up. I don't know why. In the world of Google, where Google exists, why wouldn't you ever try, or YouTube? Why won't you ever try to look up how to maintain your hair?
Can't even know. I can tell you right now, if my mom saw this video of me, she would be like, I cannot believe you went on live TV, because that's what she would call it, live national TV with your hair looking like that. You know, I raised you better than that. So I fully blame Alex's parents for not introducing him to anything.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Sorry, Mommy, I didn't have time to do my hair.
It is not my fault. You had time. Anyways,
I did not, but it's cool.
Okay. So we get this whole thing with the kids trying to like fix this house to put the house together. Go ahead.
Carolina's meeting up with Jonah.
Yes.
Because she wants family and she wants to know what the fuck she is, even though it's pretty fucking obvious she's an alien. But yeah, that's what we forgot.
Wait, did she meet up with him
in season 1? In episode 1?
No, she didn't meet up with him in episode 1.
Yeah, it's at the end, and we're like, what the fuck? Isn't it? Whatever, we should just go by characters and see what they're doing throughout the season, because we obviously don't fucking remember.
Because going episode by. All right, but anyways, let's just finish this episode summary, and then we can just go by characters moving forward.
I don't think we're gonna review. I don't
know. The best part of this episode was when they went to the house. When they went to Nico's house to get.
It's just because Tina was there.
Tina.
This is another example of why she's a horrible person, because she was about to drown
Molly.
Molly.
She wasn't gonna drown her.
She was. She literally. The only reason she stopped was because of Nico.
Because Nico was like, you wonder why I don't want to be around you.
You really think Tina gives a shit about Molly when she killed her last living relative? Had not even a fucking hesitation in drowning Molly.
Right.
But why was she gonna do that? She was defending herself. Molly attacked her.
Okay, so you throw her in the pool.
Okay, and then you throw her in the pool, and then you ask the pool to chill a little bit. She was trying to get her to chill.
No, she was
not chill a little bit. She said free the pool froze over and Molly could not get out.
Well, she was gonna let her out eventually. She wasn't gonna kill her.
Yeah, after she died, so they could give her a funeral and hide her body.
But that was the best scene in the whole episode because she looked good doing what she did. And
I hate you. I just.
I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that thought that. I'm very sure.
I mean, she is an absolute badass. I will give her that because the way she was out there, like
Baddie.
bad ass. Because the way she was out there kicking ass and taking names, I was like, okay, cool. I can respect her gangster on her fighting skills, but as a human being, she's a horrible human being.
She's not that bad. She just wanted her daughter back.
Yeah, and the way she did it was take this and never come back, even though I've done nothing to show you that I have changed, or that I'm not a toxic person, or that like when you come back, I'm not going to control you like I've done the last few years. What?
Whoa! I thought it was more so. If you take this and leave, you just go, never come back. It wasn't take this and never come back. It was if you.
She was like, take this and you're not my daughter.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because that's so much better. Disowning the child.
After
so
seeing your mother almost murder one of your now closest friends. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Guess what I would have chose?
What?
Guess what my choice would have been? To stay.
You would have chose the staff. No, I wouldn't have. Oh, contrarian ass.
Anyway, so they survive that ordeal. They leave the house. I think Alex now is having alone time with what's her name again?
Livy.
And they're getting close. So she's teaching him about hair products, and she reveals to him, look, I'm gonna this is my passion. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get with this. And I thought that was really cool for Alex because he went through like this whole thing of like having like a crush on this girl so hard, and not Nico so hard, and like just watching that disintegrate, and then having to live underneath
Nico and Carolina.
So I was like, what? Yeah, that's tough. So I'm like, what, you caught a break, so this is good for you. So he has that break, and I thought that was good for him. I thought it was really cool, and they're getting closer. While on the flip side, Gert and Chase are having some sort of problems. Was it this episode where she was starting to taper off her meds, and he didn't know how to deal with her, and what he was trying to fix the lighting for the house?
I think that's.
Yeah, it was that episode because while she was like being extra neurotic and they were having problems, Carolina and Nico, they got into that argument right outside of the walls of Carolina's house because Nico was basically like, what the hell was that? You couldn't even help. You didn't even do anything right.
Mm-hmm.
We're horrible planners. We don't need to be doing this.
Yes. And so Gert and while everyone else, every other couple in the house is like kind of like going through like a stage of, look, man, we live together or we're always together. Like I see you every day. Like you're annoying. Like I'm starting to see how annoying you are in person. But I think for Gert, it was more so like she's tapering off her meds, and so it's not like a good. This is she didn't plan this, right? She didn't know.
She's not even tapering off. She had to stop cold turkey because she ran out.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where she's not obviously not going to be herself, and obviously Chase didn't know how to handle it, and he was trying, and I thought I actually did like Chase this season though. I thought he had a pretty person. Yeah, I thought he became more of a decent person this season. He became a better friend to them. While Molly is still trying to like adjust to like not, so as we go further into the episode, Molly's also like now she's trying to adjust to being the only one that it's funny. She grew up, in my opinion, bigger, faster than anyone else. She was actually more mature than the whole house, and she was the youngest because the way she decided to handle not being able to be there for her aunt or her last living relative was go out and help other people. So the night of, she goes out and she sees this uh pimp. I think that's what he was.
Pretty
He's like
sure he was a pimp.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
he was
he
like the
was. He
pimp
was.
assistant though.
Yeah, he was like, yo, like, where my money? Where the money at?
Like you were supposed to have it all. But okay, so in Molly's growing up, can we still talk about her childlike innocence? Because like
Oh yeah, she's still
she
very.
was
She's still
growing up, but then like she has she has the little hat, and the hat has the little flip down mask, and she's like, yeah, this is it. That was adorable. I also
yeah,
want one of those hats.
yeah. She was what, 14? She's cute. Like she's
Hmm.
cute. And so she that brings her joy. That makes her happy. And I think at the end of that scene, we get the lady saying, "Oh, someone with green eyes," or something of the sorts, or you
She's got
have the
those
same.
glowing eyes, just like
Yes.
him.
And then we kind of see somebody in the shadow, kind of looking at her, like So we don't know how that's going to come into play later because that shadowy figure or whatever. And nobody catches her in this episode. I think it was the next. It was the next time she went out that she gets caught. But
I was mad about that though.
I do think, looking at the first two episodes, I already know this is a lot better than the first two episodes we got.
Yeah.
Zero flashbacks.
Oh my
Zero
gosh.
flashbacks.
Patrick's not here.
So are you ready for me to read episode 3?
Yes.
Okay, so episode 3, Alex, comfortable in Compton and falling hard for Livy, is betrayed. Jonah gives Leslie a mission to retrieve his DNA from the Yorkists, while Catherine exacts revenge against Darius. Janet decodes the abstract, and Molly seeks out to fight crime.
Okay. So, for two things. So now Alex is getting closer with Livy, and I think they actually went out once, or they came back, and this is where we find. I think he goes in the house.
Is this where he bones? Yeah. Alex becomes a man with his little. How have we not talked about Alex's cornrows? Like,
Oh yeah, and the
okay,
fresh shape up. How does he have a fresh shape?
okay, number one, that first set of cornrows they gave him was the worst lace front. Like their wig game is terrible, but then somehow he comes back the next day. Like it's almost like Livy gave him a do rag and was like, "Pull your baby hairs down this way before you go to sleep and put the do rag on." Because when he came back the next day, that shit was solid. Like everything was right.
Yeah. So now that happened. And I thought that was really cool. So, is there anything else? Like, that was my highlight of the episode, I think. So I was like, oh, look at poor Alex. Like, look at Alex, like, looking really great. Like, he's become a man now. Like, he's probably not going to cry as much. But I think,
He's still gonna cry.
yeah, he's still going to cry. And the reason he is going to cry is because Darius, at this point, has been talking to the what's his last name? Alex's parents. And so Darius hatches this plan with Alex's father to get Alex out of the homeless life and to bring him home. And he will give him everything he's ever wanted. He would give him the deed to the land. Like, I will give you everything. Like, you got everything. Like, I just want my son back. And this is what I keep saying. Is he really that? He just wants his son back.
To do what with?
To be a family again.
Yeah, I think Alex's dad, yeah, he
Wasn't that
did
bad.
like, yeah, he wanted his son back. He wanted to make amends with his homie. He
Yeah.
wasn't terrible, but that mom though,
She's bad. Oh, she's bad.
she's
Oh, she
terrible.
bad.
I
And
think
so
we're using bad, and we have two different definitions here. One is
we
slang,
do.
and one is the Webster's definition of bad.
Okay, and so they
Okay,
do.
but
They
like,
do.
are you
I
just
was about
saying
to.
they're not that bad because they love their kids?
Yes, they love their kids.
That's
They
never
do.
been in question, though.
Yeah, that
We're
that
talking
doesn't
about
mean
like
that
what
you're
they
not a
do
bad
to
person.
people. Like, okay, cool, you love your kids, but you still murdered like 50 people or whatever.
But they had to.
You're still
If
kickstarting
they
the
did
end.
it,
They
the
don't have
alien.
to do shit. They don't have to do
If
shit.
if they didn't, the alien would kill them and the
How?
kids.
How? He couldn't even. The only thing he could do is make his junk glow. That was it. So all they had to do was not sacrifice teenage runaways to him, and he would have just shriveled up and probably become a little nasty, wrinkled piece.
They chose to help him.
Yeah.
Even from the beginning, they chose to help him. They were like, "Oh my gosh, this was so awful," but then they just kept doing it, and they didn't even like get used to it either. They were just like, "Oh yeah, this kind of sucks, but I want to stay rich. I want that alien tech."
Duh.
And then this wasn't even okay. This wasn't even part of the alien shit. Like Jonah hasn't even been working with them this season, and they're still doing stupid shit. They're still like, "Oh, I'm Catherine. I'm gonna kill Darius," when I didn't need to.
At all. Shit
I
was
mean,
cool.
but the reason she did it was because it took the heat off their kids.
Yeah, and who put the heat on the kids? Catherine.
But it was an accident.
No,
Actually,
No, she reported them to the police so that the police would look for them.
so they would come back home.
She literally owned the police. Why not just be like, "Hey, look for our kids.
Make this go away."
Hey, our kids are missing."
You guys are just
Like,
being really hard on the parents. Anyways,
they're the
but so Gert's
we should
parents.
be hard on them.
Gert's parents extract Jonah's DNA and they want to use it to kill him. And so they figured the way to do it would be to go down to the hole and extract whatever's down there and, spray. Because if that's him, we're going to spray, we're going to inject the poison we made into that thing. And if it kills that, it'll probably kill him. That didn't go how they planned. But the biggest part of this whole plan or the whole thing going down was he was with Carolina when all this was happening.
I mean, that didn't mess up the plan at all. They got the shit and they left.
Yeah. But so then is that when he takes Carolina down there to show her what's at the bottom of the hole?
Yeah, because they did inject it then and there was a little
I
tremor.
think that's when the earthquake happened.
Yeah.
Because they took the DNA out. Or they tried to do the shit to see if it would work. And like, oh my gosh, and then earthquake. And then Carolina and Jonah were like, "What the fuck is that?" And it's like, "I think I know." And they go, and then they see the Yorks, and the Yorks like, "Oh shit," and dip out.
And she's like, back up. I don't think he saw you. Really? He's staring right at you. I don't think he saw you.
And then like Chase and the other kids are just working on how to get the lights on.
Yeah, and I think
and then there's that the big earthquake, and then they're freaking out because where's Carolina?
Because Carolina's with Jonah, the fucking villain. And Janet is decoding the abstract to just be like, "Hey, what's this?"
Yes, I thought
because Janet can actually do something instead of cry and cheat.
But Janet
and whine.
is a scientist, though. She is a scientist. She just
really? What was she doing? Oh, last season though.
But she put her life on hold to be the perfect stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
I mean, she was also with an abusive husband.
Yeah, and that's why she was cheating. It's not that she wasn't just doing it because I feel really bad for Miss Nico's mom. Don't cheat on her. She's so perfect.
Nico's mom. Nico's mom.
She was an ice queen.
For her.
She got cheated on by her husband
because she was an ice queen. I'm not saying what he did was right.
I'm sure they drifted apart because their daughter died.
Can you just read the? Can you just read the thing for episode 4? Let's just get into episode 4.
Fine. Anyways, at the end of season 3, that's when Molly goes out and gets caught, and then she gets followed. And so season 4. Sorry, God.
Yeah. So episode 4. Oh well, wait. I guess no. We need to talk about because at the end of episode 3, she comes back home, and then this guy comes in behind her, and he introduces himself as Topher, and they
they put him in. What's her name? Nico puts him in the cage.
Puts him in a bubble. Yeah, and he breaks out. And so then
his eyes are glowing, and Molly's like, "Oh my god,
bro!" Cause Okay, so so I guess at the beginning of episode 4, they're still like talking with him. He introduces himself as Topher, And he's like, "Yep, I'm gonna stay here." And they're like, "We don't know you."
Except for
And Molly's
Molly.
trying to
And
convince them.
Molly just, you see,
Yeah,
this is how you know that they're so privileged that they don't have the street smarts. Molly's guard drops. Like,
Okay, but
hmm
she's
she's
looking
also,
at it
14,
like family.
and she
and
just lost her
remember,
last known relative.
and remember when I said I had to keep reminding myself that these are children
Hmm
because
And they're
I,
traumatized children.
yeah, because you would have to like, yeah, yeah. So I
Like
kept
Molly was
reminding.
just so excited that someone had her power, and that could
Someone was
mean
like
that like
her.
they're related, and so she's not alone. Like,
Yeah,
cool, I have friends, but I have no family.
This
yeah.
is also the episode where they decide to go into the school and break into the school to steal a computer, a supercomputer, so they can
So
actually do.
I was gonna read.
I'm sorry, guys.
Topher helps the kids break into Atlas Academy, but the plan is shut down when Dale and Stacy trigger an earthquake, and parents rush to the scene. Jonah's body continues to break down as he leads Carolina into the hole. So we were like ahead by an episode.
Yeah,
That's
but
fine. That's fine.
that's fine.
That's fine. I was
Yeah,
gonna
Oh yeah,
complain.
that's right. Because Carolina didn't go with them to school to Atlas.
no,
Nope.
Yeah,
because and they were still like, "Where the fuck were you?"
yeah. So they
And
go to
Gert tries
Atlas.
to get some meds.
Yeah, they go to
Yes.
Atlas, and Gert tries to get some meds, but it didn't work out for her. And
That's what got the parents there.
I was really
hmm
sad for her, and she almost gets them caught up, but they managed to get the computer. Topher gets it
hmm
somehow. And as soon as he gets it, I think he and Nico have a conversation in the car. Nico reaches over him, and he's thinking, "Ooh, she like me," but she doesn't because she doesn't swing that way. But she had spotted something that he did. No one else saw it, and and I thought that was very interesting because everyone was sitting there, and I think they were more so uh, into how he escaped or how he had the glowy eyes rather than try to look at him and try to see what he was doing. And
hmm
it was very interesting how Nico kind of found that out, and
I mean,
she
she just
took
looked over and saw it
Yeah,
while
she
they
just
were
happened to catch
discussing
him when
him.
he was rubbing his
yeah
essence
no
of Jonah
If
into his
anything, Nico
wrist.
was just more suspicious than the others.
yes and so of all and I think that's why she makes the better leader because she's able to she's able to kind of like she's
She
not as naive.
observes.
She's not as naive, and she's more observant than everyone else is. And it probably comes from her losing her sister, the way she lost her sister, and just disconnecting because she seems the most disconnected from everyone else. And so they get the computer, and I think Nico confronts him and asks him, "Hey, like, so this is how this is how you do what you do." And I think that morning he also got them breakfast, right? Bless you.
What?
Bless you.
Thank
He
you.
did get them breakfast, right?
Yeah, he got the breakfast. Yeah, because he's the one who's been on the streets actually.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, just go dumpster diving. And he brings back a feast. And everyone's like, wow, I never checked to look in the trash can because I've never thought.
I'm
People
not
Yeah,
just
gonna
I
lie.
waste
had
food.
to.
I'm not gonna lie. I saw all that food and I was like, that's dumpster food. But then again, it did not look like dumpster food. It
It
looked
did not
pretty
look
clean.
like dumpster food. But if you
Yeah.
think about it, there are certain bakeries and stuff. Like I know there have been a couple of places where you're like, why aren't you taking this food over to homeless shelters? And they say we can't. Like it's against the law now for us to do that because if somebody gets sick, we get sued.
But if
So
a
Yeah.
there
homeless
could
kid's
be,
about to be like right next to the dumpster, you could just leave it on the floor and he's going to pick it up and then be
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
So
I
there's
think that's
probably
what
like
they.
whole bags of bagels.
Yeah, and I think that's what they do. They just probably leave it out there because they figure homeless people come pick it up. But technically, if you take it, if you put, so yeah, so he. And I'm like, this is dumpster food. But no, it looks really good. And he tells him about this orange grove where he gets his oranges from, and they get oranges, and he kind of like put them on. But Nico confronts him about the dust, and he tells, he's like, yeah, I need, like he just tells her. What did he tell her? Does anyone remember what he told her?
Are you talking
That
about in
he
the car?
found it in a terrarium. Was that the story that he told?
I zoned out. What were you saying?
That um He said that this was the last of it, and once it was done, he wasn't like.
Oh
that would
yeah,
just be
that's
it.
right. That would just be
Wait,
it.
which part are we talking about?
We're talking about Nico confronting Topher in the car about him using Joan
Oh,
Invest.
No,
To get
no.
his
Was it in the car or wasn't it? Wasn't it
I don't
like
think that was in the car
when they
because
got back? When
it
they
was
got
it was
back, he
around the time
flipped
they
it.
got back. In the car, they were just they didn't want to
But
talk,
yeah,
but he started talking about the Wiccan shit, and she was like, "Oh shit, you know about Wiccan shit," and that's when he was like, "Oh, she likes me," but not really because she just wanted to get close to grab whatever she grabbed, which was the stuff that she took out later when they were on their way to the school, and they were like, "Let's get the shit." They dipped out, and then they confronted him and was like, "How you got your powers? Who the fuck are you?" And that's when he did the sob story of, "I used to be rich like you guys, and then I got kicked out because my parents suck ass." And then he found the terrarium while he was like looking for food and garbage because he was rich and didn't know where to find food. And then he finds the terrarium and he sniffs in the shit and he's like, "Ah, I'm strong." And that's it.
Yes. And Gert wanted to know what happened to the animals that were in the terrarium.
Yeah.
Most importantly.
Did he just freeze?
Wow, he's really frozen. He's probably making some epic points right now, and we'll never hear them because, yeah, huh? I wonder if this is a good stopping point to come back next week and talk about episodes 5 through 9 or whatever.
Oh, maybe. I wonder how long he's gonna stay frozen. Does he know he's frozen?
I don't know.
Hmm.
What do you think, Mo? Should we stop it here? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna sign off on behalf of Mo. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Oh,
wait,
he's
he
gone.
just left. Maybe he's gonna come back.
He might come back. Okay. So I don't want to end it before he gets back.
Okay, wait, okay. Well, I feel like it was better than season 1.
Absolutely. It was way better than season 1.
I probably think it was better just because something was happening and there was more screen time for the kids.
Yeah. And you actually saw them as runaways. You saw them. Oh, I will say one thing that really annoyed me throughout the full season was how they kept saying superpower. Like, no, this is your superpower. You're supposed to like, oh, can you just say your talent or your skill or something else? Does it have to be your superpower every time? But also, they're kids, so you kind of
Yeah,
have
they
to.
did a lot of stupid teen shit, but I was like, they're stupid kids, and I know me at 14 was even dumber. So, but I thought, I don't know. I'm still mad that Alex just dipped out and was like having a normal life while everyone else was struggling. Like, you didn't think to like bring the food, like bring some
Literally
leftovers?
out there living his best life. Aside
Like,
from that, like you've got money, so why are you not picking up a little bit of groceries or something and bringing it back to your people?
it was
But
just
y'all are
like,
just in there
why?
eating hot Cheetos and drinking Mountain Dew, which is horrible for them.
I don't think we talked about how Nico started using the staff and was getting real talented with it.
Yeah, kind
A
of
little
scary talented.
scary, yeah. And even Carolina was starting to float and shit, learning her.
That was pretty cool. She's like a fairy. She's she's like Tinkerbell or something because she like glows and she floats and she shoots flashy things. But yeah, it's interesting to see them honing in on their powers and Gert and
Chase.
Old Lace.
Oh, Old Lace.
How they're like how she's using their psychic connection and stuff. That's pretty cool.
I feel like they did the stuff I wanted to see in season 1 though, where they're learning more about their powers and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Since like they're not gonna run away, might as well learn about your shit that you can do, so it'll help you when you run away. I don't know why they didn't prepare to run away. Like they obviously didn't want to be with their parents. Like were they just like, we're gonna get our parents in jail and then we're gonna live our best life
in their house? That's probably what they thought. Like we'll just stay and take over the house. The other thing is, y'all ran away in the same city. Like,
yeah, like why did they just do that? Like they were so concerned with putting their parents away, but like at every step and turn, they just didn't do much to do that.
Like, are you really a runaway if you're running into your parents on the streets? If you're going back home to grab stuff? You're just kind of a stay away.
I don't even really remember the reason they ran away for real.
The big fight at the end of season 1 where
Oh, just that big
they
fight.
had that standoff. Yeah.
And they're like, we're gonna throw a truck into the hole, and that's gonna
do
the
it.
deal.
Now
Okay.
we're probably in really big trouble. So we should run away. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, Mo's not coming back. So we will pick this up next week. I want to say same bat time, same bat channel, but I don't know because we're have to talk with our other 2 folks who couldn't make it tonight. But thank you everybody for tuning in. We will be back next week. You got anything else you want to say to the people, Bree?
Nope. I'm good.
All right, y'all. Till next time. Oh, thank you for tuning in to Earth 2, where something Mo forgot it, so I'm not feeling guilty about not remembering it myself. All right, y'all. Peace out.